Welcome to the She Wins podcast. I'm your host, Heather Sumlin, and I'm on my own today. Today, I want to talk about something that I haven't really discussed in detail. However, every single episode has alluded to it. See, what I chose to do with this podcast was interview people that I believe have something to share with my audience. Things like lessons that they've learned along the way, defining moments in their life, the way that they describe winning, all of those things are able to be received by the audience in order to be utilized. Kind of reminds me of when you work with a coach or when you work with a mentor who helps to lead you in a direction. And so in a sense, I'm introducing you to a wide variety of potential mentors, people who have mentored others, people who are consistently being learned from and looked up to. But in all honesty, that's you too. Every single one of us has the opportunity to be mentored to and to mentor others. Once you reach a certain age, maybe let's say high school, you have something to give back to someone who's younger than you. And in pageantry, what I've noticed, especially in the Miss America system where there are so many different levels and stages, if you will, you have princesses, teen title holders, miss title holders, directors, volunteers, sponsors. Everybody's role really is to be able to invest back into someone else, with the exception of maybe the princess, because her role is to have fun and learn from you. So mentorship is a key component in pageantry, yet I don't think that it's talked about nearly enough. The first mentors in my life were people that I somewhat ignored, if you think about it. Your parents, obviously, but then I think about grandparents. And this dawned on me the other day because my parents are now 78 years old. Sorry for outing you, parents, but they're in an age now where they have outlived their own parents. My grandparents all passed away before I was 13. And so none of them lived to be in their mid to late 70s. And I remember when I was growing up, I kind of took them for granted. I never met my mom's mother, so I never had a chance to learn from her. And my mother's father had Alzheimer's, so I didn't really know him. At the time in which I could receive any lessons from him, I didn't really know him. My father's father, though, was my favorite person that ever walked the planet up to this point. See, my granddad knew something I wanted to learn. My grandfather loved horses. We lived on a horse ranch with 105 acres out in the middle of nowhere. At one point, we had 40 horses on property. And my grandfather had told me I had to be 9 years old before I could have my own horse. And that irritated the fire out of me when I was 6, 7, and 8. But when I turned 9, I was super excited. So we got a horse, and he would spend quality time with me, teaching me everything that he thought I needed to know about how to handle a horse, how to feed them, how to bathe them, how to ride them. And we were just starting to get into what I really, really cared about, which was barrel racing. I don't know why I wanted to be a barrel racer, but I really did. With everything in my being, I thought that rodeo would be fun. And he had gotten some barrels and put them out and would have me kind of trot around these barrels. But he was explaining it to me, spending time with me, investing back into me. And I have very fond memories until the day came when I was still 9 and he had a heart attack on our property. And went to the hospital. They brought him back. He had died, and they brought him back for 1 week. I don't think I got to say goodbye. I don't remember. Maybe I was too young. Maybe I just don't recall. But I don't remember telling him goodbye, and I definitely never told him how much it mattered to me that he cared enough to care about what I cared about. I tell you that story to tell you this. There were 4 years, I think, in between when my grandfather passed and my grandmother passed. In those 4 years, I knew my grandmother could cook. I knew she was really cool. I knew she laughed a lot. But I didn't choose to get to know her or choose to ask her any questions. not anything that of relevance or importance. And maybe I was too young to know better. But today, if I was to have one regret in my life, it was that I didn't take advantage of the time that I did have with people who knew more than me, who could invest back into me, and who could lead me somewhere that I actually desperately needed and wanted to go. Because I didn't think that I would lose them. So having said that, number one, if you have grandparents and they're good people, take the time to get to know them, ask them some questions. Learn lessons from them, receive those lessons. And so I think it's important that we learn from those who have been places that we have yet to go, even if it was in a time that's different than ours. One of the biggest challenges that I see, and I don't know if other people feel this way, but technology has divided us and also brought us together. So we have more opportunities to connect with people of all ages than we've ever had in our existence. Yet it seems to divide us because whenever we are present with other people, the phone still has our attention. And so my advice to girls that I mentor, and if I haven't said this to you, maybe you need to hear it, or maybe I need to say it next time I see you, is the phone should not be present if the learning is to happen. If you are sitting with your mentor and you are being taught something that's valuable, unless you are recording the conversation to be able to receive everything that is said, the phone does not need to be present. You don't need to know what's going on online when someone is taking the time to invest into you. If you're on a coaching session with someone, I don't care if they're teaching you how to do a sport, how to speak, how to play the piano. Wherever you are, be all there. Be 100% dedicated to learning whatever it is that that person has to give you. Because you'll go further faster if you invest back in your own learning by listening to those who are leading you. Whether that's your teachers, your coaches, or your mentors, your parents, your grandparents, older siblings, aunts, uncles, whoever it may be. But there are a few things that you should pay attention to when you're deciding who should lead you. My father, he had done an audio program on mentorship way back, I think it was before I started working for him back in the early 2000s. He had recorded a mentorship audio, and he re-recorded it, called it Performance Coaching, and you can find that on the various Patreon channels that we have available with mental management. But in that audio, he talks about what a mentor is. And there's 3 qualities that a mentor has to have in order to actually be able to invest into someone and help them. Number 1, they have to be capable. You cannot learn for someone who doesn't have something to teach you. So they need to be capable of leading you in the direction in which you want to go. They have to have knowledge or something to give. They need to be capable. They need to be caring. They need to care about your growth. They need to care about you as an individual. They can be capable and not care. Well, that person's a role model, not a mentor. That person may be someone that you look up to on social media. They might be an influencer who has lots of things to give, but no time to invest back into you. That is not a mentor. A mentor is someone who cares about you so much that they'll take the time out of their day to work with you or invest back into you, whether you're paying them or not. Coaches can also be mentors. But they also need to be a confidant. They need to be somebody that will keep what you say confidential. They need to be somebody that you can share information with, that they choose to allow that experience with you to be so special that they don't turn right around and share everything you say with someone else. So you need a capable, caring confidant. That means if you are to mentor others, which all of us, I believe, have a responsibility to seek mentors, but also to be one, then you need to also be capable, you need to be caring, and you need to be a confidant to those in which you lead. I've been involved in different sports, if you will, whether it's pageantry or dog sports or otherwise. And I love the opportunity to invest back into people. But more importantly, I love learning from everyone else. I think I gain just as much knowledge and insight and inspiration and encouragement from my clients and my students than they do from me. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is take the time to invest into those who look up to you and to learn from those who make the time for you. Send the text message, make the phone call, be available to those who need you, and receive what you're learning from others. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you haven't mentioned or if you haven't reached out to grandma and grandpa today, and you have one still, do it so that you don't sit with regret later. Have a blessed rest of your day.